So, I just finished playing God of War, and here are my thoughts, or rather, here is my review. First off, a quick note. Since this is the first ever game review on this channel, I'll briefly outline how I score my games. You see, I have 5 basic criteria that I judge and give score upon. The score accumulates to a total out of 10. And no, I don't give review scores in the decimals like 7.6 or 8.9 because honestly I feel that this is an extremely petrified form of reviewing which neither I like nor I do. So the 5 standards are: number 1, story, which amounts to the most points, as in my opinion a game without a good story is like a steak without any meat. Second, the characters. These are the mediums which are tasked with carrying the entire story on their back, so sometimes even the entire game. That is why they are given the second highest position of score in my review. Third off, we have the gameplay and combat. This is the real zeal or the charm of the game which captivates the players and keeps them exploring the world. So the gameplay and combat should be equally entertaining and fun. Fourth is the world which the player occupies and spends his or her time in. Now this should be one that has meaning as well as some history to it, which the players can explore and find out. Lastly, we have the graphics. Now, although I do not consider the graphics of any importance, but I still believe that the graphics ought to complement the tone of the game, and they should be a one-up for the game, not a one-down. You see, these are the 5 basic standards that I judge the video game upon. And at the end, a final verdict is carried out, which scales from 0 to 10, with 0 being an absolute garbage game which should be burned on the spot, like Right to Hell Retribution. 5 being a mediocre game, having too many issues, and that should only be picked up if the game is having a huge sale, like say Sea of Thieves. And 10 being a game which has few flaws, an excellent story, amazing gameplay, and characters. Good, likable characters, like The Witcher 3. So in short, any game capable of telling a cohesive story through likable characters in a rich world with good gameplay and decent visuals is likely going to get a very high score from. And certainly, God of War managed to do all of that. Now, God of War puts you in the shoes of Kratos, the ghost of Sparta, or rather, the destroyer of the entire Greek pantheon, since in the last game, he, in a fit of rage and revenge, killed the Greek gods and doomed the entire race to oblivion. But we're past that, and now he's in the land of Midgard, under the Norse pantheon now. He has started a new life and has a new family with a wife and a son named Atreus. But unfortunately, tragedy soon falls to the family as Kratos' wife dies, leaving the two behind with the final wish of spreading her ashes from the highest peak.
What are we hunting?
You are hunting deer.
Which way?
In the direction of deer.
Okay, this way.
Although this task seems easy enough in the beginning, it's anything but, as they are besieged by numerous hurdles from the likes of monsters, to dead people, to bugs, and of course, the boy himself. Now in my opinion, the entire main quest plays a second place to the story of how the relationship between Kratos and Atreus grows. Now we have known Kratos to be an extremely stubborn, aggressive, kill first, think later kind of. And it is amazing and funny to see him trying to teach his son the opposite of these: patience, respect, and calm, since unfortunately his son has inherited some characteristics from his father.
Why? How do you know? How do you know?
And although the game is full of bombastic spectacles and amazing fight scenes, what I truly enjoyed the most was seeing how these two characters bonded and learned from each other. The story is without a doubt extremely entertaining, and it managed to keep me hooked throughout its roughly 20 to 25 hours of play.
But at least I know the truth now.
The truth.
Hang on, boy!
Okay!
Now, unlike many other AAA games, God of War has a rather small cast of roughly 9 to 10 main characters. That's it. And though it did disappoint me at first, seeing how few characters there were, later on in the game, I really felt no real need for any extra characters, as the one present here and the tons and tons of other characters that are mentioned in the lore and stories, they were enough for me. The characters in the game frequently mention various figures and events of the past. And oddly enough, these figures and events are present in the world around you, and it makes you feel as if you really are a part of this world and these people are around you. An excellent example of this is the story of the ice giant Thamur and how he was killed.
A blow from Thor's hammer caused Thormur to fall on his own chisel, driving it straight through his skull. He landed upon a village, crushing its inhabitants, who were known for worshipping the Vanir god Njord. Father-son quarrel forever changed the landscape of Midgard. The dead stone mason lies there to this day, an everlasting reminder of Thor's brutality and the consequence of a son who dares betray his father.
You actually get to see the ice giant yourself. This is something extremely unique, and you feel as if these figures of history are right then and there with you, which is amazing. This installment of God of War has foregone the over-the-top camera angle and the hack and slash combat in favor for a third-person over-the-shoulder approach. This, combined with the fact that the camera does not break even once, even during cutscenes, means that the entire game plays out in a continuous single shot. How the hell did they manage to do this is beyond me, but let me thank Santa Monica Studios for taking this bold move, as this makes the game much more immersive than any other game ever. Seeing everything move like butter without ever seeing the ugly black loading screens is a godsend, and I can't thank the game enough for it. Now, where the new camera angle is amazing and the single continuous shot is mind-blowing, in my opinion, the best feature of the game is hands down its amazing combat. I can't begin to describe how amazing it feels to slice your way through hordes of undead with your axe. As you chop and slice through multiple undead, and then you throw your axe to freeze one, only to punch and beat the living shit out of the others with your bare hands before turning on your rage mode and demolishing all the others. It's a breath of fresh air for all of the God of War fans, as the series has always steeped more towards hack and slash approach, which, although entertaining in its own way, still started to get stale by the end. But this fighting style is amazing, and it just keeps getting better and better with all sort of abilities that you can unlock, along with various runes which give you unique abilities or special moves. So what this does is allow an immense amount of freedom to players in how they can approach their combat and tailor it however they want. As previously mentioned, the world of God of War is alive, meaning things mentioned in this world can often be seen with your own eyes, from giant serpents to dragons enslaved in the Dwarven Mountains. You can find and explore all of these, and it is quite amazing to discover all the secrets of this world. But that is not all. There are 9 realms of Midgard, including an elvish world, a fire world, and this world's version of hell. All these places are chock full of various secrets that I won't spoil here. The only real gripe that I have is that 3 out of the 9 realms are locked off, which makes me sad but also hopeful for the future of the game. There really isn't much that I can say other than the fact that this is perhaps one of the most beautiful games I have ever played on PlayStation. Everything from the world, the characters, the weapons, the actions, and even the Kratos' beard all move and feel real. I really can't do justice to the game's graphic with mere words. So here is a montage of the beauty of God of War. Now let me get this out of the way. In my opinion, there is not a single game that I can call perfect or completely flawless. Even games I would give my highest scores to have a lot of bugs and issues, including pop-ups, few bad missions, and a glitch here and there. But these bugs or problems don't take away from the overall experience and don't ruin my enjoyment by any significant degree. That is why I tend to overlook them and not cut any points whatsoever. But what riles me up and forces me to trim the score is when the game starts to feel repetitive or it has quests that hold no real reward whatsoever. What do I mean by that? Well, imagine you are playing a game and you just played an amazing section and you think, yeah, I enjoyed that. What else is there? And you're met with doing the same section over and over and over again. That steals your enjoyment. This is unfortunately the case with God of War as well, which starts to suffer from my princess is in another castle syndrome as the game goes on. As soon as you reach any significant milestone and you start to see yourself get closer to your goal, the game just stops and forces you to go back and get something new because unfortunately, oh look, there's the black fog which you can't cross because you need the pure light from Alfheim to clear it. Off you go. Now, although you get to visit all of these amazing places, like Alfheim, which is beautiful, you just can't stop feeling deja vu, as the context of visiting these places always remains the same. This is not apparent at the beginning of the game, as you stand in awe of the beauty of the world and the amazing combat. But as you pass time in the game, you really feel these impossible to happen coincidences. My second gripe with the game is that it has a severe lack of good boss fight. Now, don't get me wrong, the ones here are amazing, especially the first fight with Baldur. That is a game seller in itself.
Tell me what I want. Pain stops real simple. Why are there two beds in
But where God of War players are accustomed to having amazing spectacles like the Hydra fight in God of War 1 or the fight with Hades in God of War 3, here apart from a few, you only fight multiple colors of this dude. And oh, don't get me started on the boss gauntlet section.
God damn it! Alright, God of War. See, every once in a while you do a little annoying me. You want us to fight 3 little mini bosses in a row. That's what you're doing.
these hordes and hordes of bosses that the game throws at you as a spike in difficulty? No. No, God of War. Just no. You don't need this. Lastly, the world does feel dead. And what I mean by this is that this world, which consists of a huge lake that can be explored on a boat, severely needs a few NPCs, few characters or people running around. It just feels odd. While you travel through this entire world, you rarely, if ever, meet anyone other than some dead people trying to kill you. But as previously mentioned, these gripes are only minor, as they don't take away from the experience that much, especially when you compare it to what they got right. And my God, they got a lot of things right. The amazing and heart-touching story, the beautiful and captivating world with a deep and rich lore, and of course a fighting system that all other games envy. You really can't deny the value of this game. It is without a doubt a masterclass game and a must-have for all owners of PS4. And everyone else who don't have a PS4, I don't know how you do it, but you need to experience this game. So the final verdict for God of War is a strong and solid 9 out of 10. If the game didn't start to feel repetitive and it had a variety of boss fights, it would have been definitely a 10 out of 10 for me. But right now, I believe it deserves a 9 for everything it got right. Alright guys, this is it. Thank you so much for watching. I know this review is late, but I felt that my first review should have been the one that deserves it, regardless of the time passed. Okay guys, please do subscribe for more things gaming, and I hope to see you soon.